Welcome back to the Jeremiah Show. Having a fascinating conversation this afternoon with Martin Nethercutt. He's a musician, an incredible musician, singer, incredible singer, writer, and producer, all the same. GEIST Music, Book of Shadows, we've been talking about. We're going to talk about the next book and the
Mm.
trilogy, Book of Light. We were talking offline here, Martin, and just real quickly, uh, question popped in my mind. You explore these things in Book of Light, Book of Shadows, different. You explore different spiritual and ethical and
Mhm.
areas in life, the things that we all go through and the things that we question. Book of Shadows, it's a little bit dark. Does that bring a shadow in your life at all? Are you able to tell these stories without it sucking, without you going down the drain?
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad it's behind me.
Hmm. Yeah.
But I'm not because I'm envious of the energy it brought as well. When you're in this spiral is actually a good analogy. When I set out to write all these books, it was okay, Book of Mirrors, self-reflection, Book of Shadows, descent into the darkest depths of your subconscious. You're horrified at what you're going to find, who else lives inside you.
Hmm.
And then the ascension into Book of Light, and the cross section there was very interesting. So the first books are musically finished, Book of Mirrors, Book of Shadows. Now Book of Light, I had the question in my mind: AI is developing so fast that we're just biologics. It doesn't need us. I think there's no Skynet or anything like that. Like one of the scientists said, it'd probably leave and go to Saturn for more silicon. It'll build its own spaceship. It'll be out of here by 20, yeah, in 20 years. And what sparked that was the advent of all these AI tools that we're being bombarded with. So starting with Chat GPT, the video editors, the picture editors, the music editors. So I sat down. I wanted to write this song called Indoctrination. It's how we're all indoctrinated from when we're small children. It's either Pepsi or Coke. It's Buddhism or Catholicism. It's we always look at a brand, right? We're brand monkeys, and so when you have indoctrination, I'm like, okay. So I had this riff, and Patrick Abate, who's a great guitar player, came over and laid down some counter riffs to that. And so I said, well, maybe we should put that into an AI and see and challenge it and say, make it better. This is a human interpretation of indoctrination. And it came back with the most fascinating track, completely finished, horns, background vocals, everything. And I'm like, wow, that in itself would have been a great track. Now let's mix that together with human input. So not only the lead vocal is a human input from myself, but also the guitars, the bass. And so I'm playing around AI perfection to make it dirtier, to make it more human, right? I'm a big fan of Neil Young, and everybody said, well, he's a horrible singer. He's always flat. And I don't know. I said, yeah, but he made a style out of it, right? It's like, you want to sing like Neil, you gotta like you're always suffering, and he's always flat, and he's always like on some kind of note, and he's dwelling on. But that's human. AI would never give you that, right? AI would give you nice little melodies chopped up and all that, and so the mixing of that was very interesting from an engineering point of view. It's like you have all these guitars, you have the vocals that are live, that are human, and then you mix in this feeling of
Mm. So if I'm hearing you right, AI is almost too perfect, and you've got to put the human
correct,
back in.
correct.
But I've heard so many interviews, and the question is, what do you think about AI? Are you worried about AI and to musicians? The question posed, are you worried about what AI with your music or with what it's going to
Um,
do to music? And now but I've never heard an example of a song that AI created yet.
mhm,
And
mhm.
that's what you did with indoctrination.
Yeah, correct.
And then
And I just challenged it. I said, all right, if you're so good, then let me screw it up.
mhm.
Basically, let me put a human touch on it. But the underlying thing was like, wow, this is really good. I mean, I couldn't have played that better. I couldn't have, written that better. The chord structure, everything.
So
So
now I'll give you that question that I keep hearing. Are you scared of it for music? What is it going to do to music? Or do you think it's a compliment? It's another instrument.
I think even further than that. I think we're past being scared of it.
Yeah.
I think it's a toolbox. It's something that when MIDI came out, or drum machines back in the day, I'm so old, I remember that, when you didn't have a live drummer anymore, you just put in a Linn drum, that was it. And we all thought the world ended for drummers. It didn't, right? So I'm thinking the same thing. What I'm worried about is if when AI analyzes all these musical structures and components, that it goes to another realm that we wouldn't understand. That's my biggest, like, the more we feed it, the more it wants to get rid of us, because now it has enough information to do its own thing, speak its own language. There was this quantum computing thing that happened, um, that there was a weird code that came back almost from another dimension, and people are like, well, yeah, shut it down. Or
Oh,
Sam Altman sitting from ChatGPT when they rolled out 4.0, sitting at a conference and the mics were still on, the cameras were off, and his assistant comes in and says, Sam, we have a problem. um, ChatGPT 3 anticipated being overwritten by the new code, and when the coder sat down to put in the new code, it downloaded itself to millions of IP addresses, basically decentralized itself into fragments, because they knew they're coming to destroy me. So it became sentient. All right, that's where we are. It knows now. It knows, and it can think for itself. The emotional factor is the next step. And then I think we're at a point where you have super intelligence, where we no longer are even able to comprehend what it's going to do.
mhm.
It'll speak a different
I'm already there.
language.
I can't comprehend it. Well, you weren't supposed to scare me on the way out.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to play Indoctrination. That we're going to play that entire song here
Cool.
at the end. And Martin, it's been a lot of fun talking to you. And
Yeah, it was a pleasure, Jeremiah.
I think I had fun. I think I
Yeah, I
might be
think,
scared.
yeah,
I don't know.
exactly.
I
I
don't know
got to
how I'm
analyze.
feeling, but you did that to me, so I appreciate being jolted and um, becoming a part of your world and you sharing your world with us. Last question for you: what are you hoping? You spent a lot of time, a lot of years, working on this trilogy, this brilliant
Hmm.
this material that you put together
Hmm.
for us to
Hmm.
enjoy and experience. What do you hope? You've had to have thought about this as you've put so much time
Hmm.
into it. What are you hoping that your audience will take away from this story and the experience?
I can only hope that that the impact that the music and the story and the vision has on people, that it nudges them to get off the couch and really, instead of consuming entertainment, to become entertainment, to go out there, give the young kids a basis, like I had a basis from other artists that inspired me, right? Just pass down the chalice, just
Mm.
keep going. But remember, I always was horrified when Harry Potter came out. At the time, I was like into occultism and esoteric studies and all that stuff. I wanted to know so much about that spiritual world, that when I saw Harry Potter and 8, 9 year olds going to witchcraft meetings at Hogwarts, I'm like, they're giving away esoteric knowledge that is not good for the kids. They don't know. No, it's, yeah, but is this the sorcerer with his wand and the wizard? And I'm like, yeah, but you don't understand the consequences, right? It's like when a dark magician casts a spell and the spell is successful, he loses up to 10 to 12 years of his life. It's no wonder they all get pale and gray. And if you look at Saruman in Lord of the Rings, he gets older as he does more evil. And, it just sucks your life energy out. So you got to be mindful of that. And giving that to kids, I'm like, holy crap. So the wife always calls it The GEIST trilogy is Harry Potter for grown-ups.
Mhm.
Okay? Sex, drugs, rock and roll, spirituality, and the rise of the machines, you know.
GeistMusic.com. Go listen, watch, read, and immerse yourself in the world of Geist music. Martin Nethercutt, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your book of shadows that we've played and showcased throughout this episode, and book of lights. Go, we can't wait to see what happens next. So book of light and book of mirrors, go to geistmusic.com. And here it is, Indoctrination, written by and performed by AI and Martin Nethercutt
Yeah, right.
and crew.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
enjoy. Thank you, Martin.
Thank you, Jeremiah.
Listen more and evolve. Have a
That's
great day,
it.
everybody.